All right, let's talk about this. I'm gonna give you the one conversation that changed the second half of my trajectory in my life. One conversation I had that really, honestly, I should have already been there since my wife here, who's also in the room here, has been dying to get me to this point for a long time. But I had a conversation. If you check out my channel right now, you can see the remnants of my podcast, which was quote unquote successful, but not really. You know, because I had a lot of people coming through, a lot of guests wanted to be on the show, but it just wasn't working. It wasn't doing us any good financially. So, with that said, I still wanted to really push that podcast so to a point, because I was getting a lot of people wanting to be on the show like all the time. Even like the last, I think since January, people were still trying to get on this show that's really been gone for like a year or so already. So what she probably didn't know is that this conversation I had with this guy was about me trying to get some marketing for the podcast, because honestly, I couldn't push the show without marketing. No one tells you that when you're doing podcasting. Sometimes you get lucky with podcasting, sometimes you don't, but you need marketing, you need a name, you need a brand for it to even go anywhere. So I talked to a couple of guys. The first guy, he was charging about, I don't know, upwards to $10,000. Oh, we did talk about that. Like $1,000 a month. We were thinking about that. But the second guy I talked to, he sat me down basically. This is virtual, but he's pretty much sat me down and just wanted to talk first. He asked me this one question. He was like, well, he asked me a few questions, but this is the main one that really got to me, that really got me thinking. And he said, what excites you? What is it that excites you? And if you're honest with yourself when somebody asks you that question, there's only maybe like one or two things that really, get you talking. Even like for me as an introvert, there's some certain things that will get you to say stuff, right? And just keep talking. Otherwise, we're not talking much at all. But he noticed that when I started talking, I digressed to I really like, music is really my original passion. Yeah. I guess. It was music that, I started to really brighten up throughout this whole conversation. So when I told him those things, he was like, hey, look, this is my price, $10,000. This is my price to help you with your podcast. But honestly, Brian, from this whole conversation, the only time I felt that you were excited about anything was when you started talking about music. That was eye-opening. Because a lot of times your family, your friends will tell you stuff, and it doesn't sink in. Sometimes you just need an outsider to say, look, from what I see, this is what you should be doing. This is what excites you. This is your, the passion thing. But it is. That's what I want more than anything. So literally, I'm not sure how, and plus, I hate editing podcasts too. That's another thing too. But I shut it down. Because that's really what I wanted most of all. And so you see me now just dropping out all these podcasts, the old things, just getting rid of them to release. They are what they are. All right. And I guess that's the lesson. If you're lingering around, things aren't, as successful as you want them to be right now, have somebody ask you that one simple question. What is it that excites you? And then just start talking it out. Start talking out what that is. And you'll know right away what you should be doing. And with that said, I do have some demos ready. Finally, musical demos, finally. It's been a while. And that's a journey too, going to, sometimes it's hard to do your passion, depending on, whatever your situation is, whether you're old, young, whatever, to get back into it because it's so much to the heart of who you are. So that's what you're going to see as part of this journey. You'll see some other things as well. But I hope you understand why I've released all those things. People who know me for the podcast and whatever. And some people are actually waiting for this music. Waiting, wondering, watching. Okay? This is what excites me. And there's some other things that excite me too. That are a little secondary. And she knows this now. I love films. I love TV. I love sports, specifically football. We both do. Football is good.
Yes.
Football is good. Maybe you'll hear something personally from me. I feel like I was too showy, demonstrating other things besides who I really am. So you'll get more of that. And I think this is the YouTube way, I guess, the vlogging way. And we're gonna get real. Really real, all right? This is my introduction here, my new introduction. Now, there wasn't another introduction that I had before that I still can't get out of my camera. That's why I'm using the Osmo Pocket 3, the standard now for these videos. It's so much easier, but that's another video with that. But this is the re-release of Brian S. Arnold, yes? And here we go.
Yes.
Hope you enjoy. Take care. Peace.